You want FU money. I know I do. You want the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you because you have enough money and freedom to have options. That's simply put what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you how to have FU money and why it's important. And even going to show you a quick formula to know how much is enough for FU money. I remember the singer Pink said years ago that she has a bank account that is only hers. No one else has access to it. And it's for if she ever needs to bounce. And I love it. You know, she's married, she has two kids, she has responsibilities to so many people. But she says she started making that account early. So, do you have an FU bank account? Do you have something set aside, even if it's a small amount? Now, what most people think is when they see that term, they think, oh, I need to have yachts and Lamborghinis and I need to be balling out of control, millions, millions, millions. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about something that is very attainable, that gives you the ability to choose. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one. Let me know in the comments, say, I'm ready to go. And make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Thank you so much. If you are already subscribed, I appreciate you so, so much. So having money that you know is coming in every month, so you sell it once, but it pays you over and over and over again. That can be monthly recurring revenue, MRR, or it can be annual recurring revenue, ARR. It can be either of those, and it can be, other things. And a great vehicle for that is something called School, Skool. Now, if you're in one of my memberships, you're already on School. You know what School is. You navigate it almost every day. But did you know that you could have your own school? Like you could be the person hosting a school membership. And the reason I talk about it so much, and Alex Hormozy, who you may have heard of, he talks about it a lot. He co-owns it. Sam Ovens owns it. I talk with Sam all the time. The reason I'm so excited about it is because I truly believe, and this is something I've thought about quite a bit, I truly believe that if school had existed 10 years ago, and especially if I knew what I know now about YouTube and how to have a YouTube channel that does exactly what it's doing right now, which is teaching, I'm teaching you, and you're consuming that information, building trust with me, learning from me, and then a percentage of people will go on to buy from me. If I had known how to use YouTube and school existed 10 years ago when I was sleeping on the floor of an airport and I was homeless for years prior, I don't think I would have been homeless for too long. I don't think I would have stayed in those circumstances. I think I would have had FU money really, really earlier in life in my adulthood. And that is why I'm so excited about school and YouTube, and I teach both of them because when something happens in your childhood, maybe in formative years as an young adult and even further, right? Something happens in your life that leaves an impression on you. And especially something that happens for years, right? That was for me was insecurity. It was housing insecurity, it was financial insecurity, it was food insecurity. For me, that happened. When something happens in your life that's traumatic, a lot of times what we do to survive it and to hopefully thrive afterward is that we kind of have a mission, kind of like either it's a chip on our shoulders or, we're bitter about it, or we kind of turn that into fuel and we don't want someone else to go through it. So we will start something. We'll start like a nonprofit, or we'll start a mission, or we'll volunteer somewhere. For me, my service is to get as much of this information out into the world so that you can hear it as possible. So as many entrepreneurs and creators can hear it, and people who are at jobs, maybe even stuck at a job they don't want, to hear it, to understand that it's theirs for the taking, it's possible, it's not something that's a pipe dream, and then to also give them the tools, the resources, the information to go ahead and do it. So that's what I'm thinking through is like school and YouTube. YouTube is free to start. School is $9 a month to start. Those two things, I would have been able to put together $9, and I would have been able to, would have 14-day free trial and then $9 a month. So I would have had like a month and a half to make something happen, to raise some sort of money there. And then when you have either MRR, monthly recurring revenue, or annual, you're making money every time. You're selling once and then you make the money over and over and over again. Now, there's something called churn, CHURN, which is the percentage of people who will leave something that is recurring revenue. So when you have 10 people join on day one, usually it's going to be one or two of those people are going to drop off month two and so on and so forth. And that becomes your percentage. My percentage is less than 2% at this point, but I've seen people like a healthy amount that I've seen is like between 5 and 10% churn. Some people have 20% churn. That's okay. But if you think about if you have like a robust membership, you're adding value every week, you're in there. This is the number one thing. If you're stuck with your school or your membership, or you're curious about how do I have a good school, you go into it every day and you simply look around and put the like button, reply to posts. You show up every day, and then your audience will have more reason to show up every day. And there's other ways, and I teach a lot of that in that 5-hour course that's free. I teach a lot of that in my memberships and many of these YouTube videos. Make sure you're subscribed, by the way. Make sure you're subscribed. There's a button below that you can click. Take a look at the screen right now and see if you've hit that button yet. But the recurring revenue, I want to plant that seed for you, is something that's really, really interesting. And now what a lot of people it changes all the time. So 2024, everybody was talking about monthly recurring revenue, monthly. 2025, everybody's shifting over to annual recurring. I don't know what it'll be in 2026 and beyond, but I'll tell you that with the people who are making the most money on school and the most money that I know in general with recurring revenue, what they're focused on right now is the annual recurring. So skipping, like not necessarily skipping, but going to annual so that the person pays more upfront, but perhaps they get a discount because they paid more upfront. So that's helping them. They don't have to worry about, every month looking at their bill. And then for you, the person who's collecting that money, it's a lot more upfront, a lot more. Now, even if you add the annual option to a monthly. For me, when I did that in September of 2024 with one of my memberships, it made my upfront capital go up by 2.5x overnight. I still had both options, so everybody was happy, but 2.5x the amount of upfront capital. And it's because I had more upfront capital, I was able to serve better. I wasn't worried so much about the little things. I was able to show up. I was able to bring people in and pay people to do different things, and it made it a better membership. So now for another one of my memberships, I've actually gone completely to annual. And that is something that a man named Andrew Kirby, who is an expert on school, he had the very first school ever 5 years ago. He's also an investor in school and works there now. He said to us during our mastermind last week, or this week, it was this week, he said that what he suggests is that you go annual right out the gate and you make it at least $1,000 for the whole year. And then if you're like, well, how do I charge somebody $1,000? You think about what would you pay $1,000 for? And you like over deliver. You make that membership everything you've ever wanted it to be. And then YouTube as a traffic engine is really compelling. You think about it right now. What are you watching or listening to? I think half the people who watch my videos, by the data that I'm given, watch it on mobile. So if you're able to tell me if you're on mobile, tell me in the comments, tell me if you're on TV or on your laptop, iPad. If half the people are watching on mobile, I have to imagine that a lot of them are not necessarily looking at the screen. And a lot of times, just anecdotally, I'll hear in my comments, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to your 5-hour course. I'll listen to that video that you mentioned on my commute, on my walk, while I'm doing laundry, while I'm at work." And so there's a lot of people who are using YouTube put their phone next to them or put it in their pocket and they have earbuds on or earphones on, or it's just on playing and they're listening to you. And what happens with that and what happens with just having compelling content for YouTube is that unlike Instagram, unlike TikTok, uh, and other platforms that are video, you can actually sit there for hours with somebody. So can you imagine you're on Instagram and you're like pressing play, but you're putting it in your pocket. And then like 15 seconds later, you have to press another one and find another one. People aren't doing that, right? They're like, they're like flipping through, they're consuming a lot, but there's several people. But with YouTube, either they're like what I do is every day I watch like at least 2 hours of YouTube on my TV. And it's a lot for work, but I do it for fun too, because they're kind of the same to me. um, but a lot of people are just, I don't, you can tell by what you're doing right now, basically, or what your habits are with YouTube. So if you think about that and the fact that now you can, uh, you can be the person providing that content, and somebody's going to be like multiple people over time, no guarantees of anything for any of the stuff I'm saying in this video is what you put into it. But over time, it stands to reason that you would have hours and hours and hours of content that are stacked, stacked, stacked like a vault in a vault, and that people would be consuming that. And they're going to get to know you so well because of that depth. And so it's very compelling as that traffic engine. I don't have an audience. Well, you can start to build an audience. And let me tell you this too. I'm working with people who have very large audiences too. Like I work with people who start from scratch. And I'm actually thinking about doing there's this 5-day challenge that I want to do that will help you launch your YouTube channel from scratch. It'll help you optimize your YouTube channel if you need to optimize it. And it's like a deep dive live cohort for 5 days in a row. I'm thinking about doing that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. And actually, what I'll do, I'll probably put like a waiting list or something in the description. If I don't do that, just tell me in the comments and I'll do it later. But um, what you can do is, I lost my train of thought. What I was talking about essentially is that YouTube can be that vehicle that just stacks and adds up those minutes because then people will build trust in you. And when they build trust in you over time, they want to work with you. Simple as that. Now, the next thing to think about is there are a couple more, I mean, there are multiple things that I teach. And again, that 5-hour course will tell you everything you need to know. That GPT is like getting like a $5,000, $10,000 gift. But um, digital products are really interesting because you can create a digital product. Like you can create a little course, a big course. You could create templates. Like think about the GPT that I keep talking about. I could charge for that. Like people are doing that every day. They're charging hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars for their custom GPTs, depending on what it does. Because you can train a GPT to be so robust and so valuable that it's like people are throwing money at you. And that's a digital product. There are multiple digital products. And again, I can't guarantee anything when it comes to like how much you'll make and all of that, but I can tell you that there's a process and there are vehicles for you. So digital product, and then there's coaching or just consulting, right? There's being when I think about coaching versus consulting, and you tell me if you think this makes sense or agree or don't. Um, when I think about coaching, I really do think like there's like a plan and there's like a little bit of curriculum and you're taking people through a framework. And I've definitely done that and definitely do that right now. And then when I think about, so I would say like I would say that I have that kind of vehicle. But then I would think about like consulting. There's a lot of like listening involved in consulting. There's a lot of listening involved in coaching too, if you're good. But there's a lot of listening involved in consulting because you're really taking in what their status is, what's going on right now, and what their biggest pain point is, and you're helping them through it. And you might not necessarily go into that with a framework. But either way, it's not super important how you define it. It's just the fact that you can have these one-on-one calls You can have this one to many calls, meaning one to a small group of 5 people, 8 people. I'm going to be meeting with 10 people in just a few moments, um, who won my one of my contests, who are flying in from all over the country and other countries. I'm so excited about this. And we're going to have like a, what, 8 hour sit down where I'm going to do all kinds of coaching and consulting. And this is free because I won a contest. But imagine you find 8, 10 of the same type of person. They're all construction workers or own construction companies, or they're all people who work in retail who are looking to transition out to their own businesses, or they're XYZ, whatever your lane is, right? Imagine you can sell, hey, for $300, $500, $1,000. Come with me and a small group, a very small group, and we'll spend the entire day together. And I'll teach, and we'll do mastermind, and we'll go here, we'll have lunch, we'll do these different things like I'm doing. That's, depending on what the outcome is, depending on what the transformation that you're offering is, you're actually, you're setting yourself up for, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 that day, even more. I know people who do, you know, 1,500, 2,500, 5,000 per person in a small group, depending on, like, hey, it's a 2 day, we're going to be at this place, we're going to have this outcome. It's about the outcome that you can deliver. Another good example is I did a $1,500 a seat, which is on sale from 2,500 workshop. I'm doing another one. So I did a $1,500 workshop for YouTube, where the transformation is, you come in, you may have an idea for a YouTube channel, or you may not, but you want one. And I'm going to teach you all kinds of stuff. But the transformation is, you're going to have your channel made by the time, like, within 24 hours. So this is 8 hours with me and 24 hours total. You're going to have your channel. You're going to have your ideas, your kind of 30-day process. You're going to have all kinds of stuff ready. And several people, we did one in July of 2025. Several people came to that, filmed it. We had it at a studio. It paid me 1,500. And then we have several more. December 6th, sorry, no, December 5th. December 5th, we have one more for this year. And several people paid for that. And again, what I did with that, because I didn't say this is going to be $200 because I think that's only what they can afford. No, I said this is $1,500 and it should really be 25. And people paid for it because they wanted to. And because they did, I was able to elevate it. I had more resources. And that's what I really want you to get from this. When you charge more, and when you charge what something is worth, not only do you get FU money, but you're able to serve the person or the group better. Because now I was able to put us in a really great location that was very specific. It's the studio that I work out of for YouTube when I do certain videos. They were able to see it in person. They were able to get headshots. They were able to film. A lot of them were able to film. There's a website that I'll put in the description that shows you what I mean. So you're able to deliver more. And when you're able to deliver more, guess what I was also able to do? I was able to document some videos, some quick little videos. Take that, turn that into a VSL, video sales letter. That video sales letter, or little ad or little this or that, I now can use to sell more of that. Prices will probably go up in 2026 because now people can see it. Now people have had the transformations. Now people can say, give a testimony. It worked. This was amazing. This is even better than I thought it was going to be, because I knew that was going to happen. But what if I had said, oh, I can't charge for that, or I have to charge $50 because nobody can afford that? Don't put your limiting beliefs on somebody else's bank account. Don't put your limiting beliefs on someone else's bank account. People are willing to pay for what they want and what they need. So especially with these painkillers versus vitamins. Painkiller, what's a painkiller? Painkiller is something, you have a headache and you want that headache to go away. And I need that now. I may be willing to pay more for a painkiller with a screaming headache than I would be willing to pay for a vitamin that is a nice to have, that is more maintenance. There, you can do both. You can sell both. But knowing which one you are, which one your offer is, can help you price and can help you promote. Let me know in the comments if this video is helping you see things clearly. If you're getting something from this video, it's very helpful for me to know, because then I know what content to put out in the future. We're talking about making a dollar amount that can buy your freedom in your mind. And you can build this faster than you think. That's what a lot of people don't realize, is that they think that FU money account comes in retirement or something like that, or it's going to take years to get enough money, because they're thinking it has to be this astronomical amount, but it doesn't. So a way to calculate your FU number is to write down your cost of living, like your rent or your mortgage, your food, your insurance, transportation, kids, all the stuff they're doing. Man, kids are expensive, by the way. I have seven nieces and nephews, and they are expensive. Hats off to you parents out there. Subscriptions that you have, all those things. And first of all, do like a diagnostic of that and say, is there anything I can get rid of that I really don't need? And then second of all, calculate what that is. And let's say that that's $5,000. And then let's say your average monthly income today is 7,000. Awesome. You have 2,000 left over. That is your cushion. And you can, sock that away. You can save that, or you can invest it into these tools and resources and moving forward with things that are going to make you more. So it's almost like an investment. Or you can do a combination of. Now, I'm giving you zero financial advice right now. I'm just trying to tell you kind of how to think through it a little bit, because you want to have 12 to 18 months worth of your living expenses. You want to have 12 to 18 months of your living expenses in an FU account, or at least as a goal. So let's say like your goal is, I want to have $100,000 extra. Let's walk through this just a little bit. Make sure you're subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, that's the most important thing I need you to do, because it ensures that other people see this video and this channel. I cannot tell you how strong of a signal subscribing is to YouTube. This is something I want you to know if you have a YouTube channel too. What I have found after almost 600 videos that are like, long form on this channel alone, is that, and 600 and 450 of them have been, the last 18 months, is that people can like videos. I can get a lot of likes on a video. I can get a lot of comments on a video, which does have a signal to it. All of that has signaling, and in a positive way. But if I get a lot of new subscribers because you found me for the first time, or you've been watching for a long time, but you just haven't subscribed on a channel, and people don't unsubscribe to subscribe, that's a bad signal. But if I get a lot of new subscribers on a video, the video does so much, like 10 to 100 times better than any other video that week or that month. But it's just something about that signal. I don't hear a lot of people. This is what I don't hear a lot of people talking about when it comes to YouTube, is the power of the subscriber. I do hear a lot of people who have a lot of subscribers ask for subscribers. Like, for instance, Stephen Bartlett. He will ask for a subscriber every single episode. If you think about it, in the first 2 minutes, he's going to ask you to subscribe. And some people find it annoying. I don't, because he knows, even if he's not saying it, he knows, his team knows, that that's probably the biggest indicator for YouTube. Did a lot of people subscribe? And it could be some other number that I'm just not understanding, but that's what I've seen and observed. So if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, this is the time. We're going to take this channel to 1 million people. That's what, 1 million subscribers. We're taking it there. I know we can do this. I know we can. I have some peers that are at approaching 1 million or past 1 million, and I know we can get there. So, spread the word and subscribe for sure. Thank you so, so, so much. $100,000 is 1,000 people paying you $100. That's actually not that crazy. 1,000 people paying you $100 over a year or over 2 years. You may be thinking, I have to do this in a year, but you could do this in like 2 or 3 years that you have this extra money. And and once you start collecting it, if it is FU money, it's there, right? 1,000 people paying you $100. That's actually quite attainable, especially if it's like for a course, something that you built once, or if it's for a membership, or if it's part of recurring revenue. It could be 100 people paying you $1,000. That's even cooler, actually. Think about a membership, like Andrew Kirby said earlier, right? It's $1,000 a year, or it's $100 a month and $1,000 a year. You get two options, and you make the membership so awesome that people stay for, at least 10 months, and then you replenish anybody who falls off. But you'd only have to have 100 people in your membership. Think about that for a second. If you made it to this part of the video, I hope this is blowing your mind, because it blows my mind all the time. If you had just 100 people over several months, you built it, you did all the things that I told you, blah, blah, blah. Your membership costs $1,000 a year. You decide yes or no to charging $100 a month if you want. And I know we have different ones. We have free memberships I teach. We have $9 a month, $50 a year. We have different things I teach you, different frameworks. Please know that different things work for different people. And I teach various things. So don't worry if you're like, oh, I have to do that too. No, I'm not saying do both. I'm saying I'm giving you a lot of options so that you can have them. And I get deep dive on each of them so that you can know how to do the ones that are speaking to you. But let's just say, just for the brainstorming reasons, that you're going to have, your goal is now, I'm going to have 100 people in this very awesome school membership. And I say school, not all the others, because school, I've been on all of the platforms as a host, and school is the one that has the best network effects, meaning a couple of things, meaning the more people who join school itself, the more people who end up seeing you in discovery. And it accounts for something that I think Sam, who owns it, told us in our mastermind that it's like 25% of most schools members come from that discovery page, because there's millions and millions. There's 17 million at the time of this filming people on school, and 1 million people join school every 2 weeks. So they're discovering you by keywords and looking through and clicking on your picture and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of network effects. And then just the fact that the way that it's built, when you bring in members, there's something about those network effects that make your membership better and better. On other platforms, it didn't really matter how many people would join. The membership itself would not get better unless I made it better, because it wasn't easy for people to connect with each other. It just, at least my opinion and experience, right? With school, it's just kind of easier. So imagine if you had 100, if your goal was, okay, over the next 12 months, my goal is to add 100 people to $1,000 a year membership, or a membership that costs $100 a month, but then they get a discount if they buy $1,000 for the year. And school is going to come out soon in the next few days with a tier feature, which means you can have a free school. This is when it gets super interesting. I can't believe how much value I'm going to put into this one video, but listen, I'm so glad you're here. You could have, when Tiers comes out on school, and I think it's going to be October or something, maybe November. When it comes out, you could have a free school where people don't pay. You could have a tier that's $100 a month, and you could have a tier that's $1,000 a year. Or you could have a tier that's $100 a month or $1,000 a year. You could even have like one that's like more one-on-ones and high touch that's like $2,500 a year. It's your premium. Or you could have one that's like $0, $20, the 9 and 50, and then the 100 and 1,000. But they just give you different access to you and different access to your resources. It's amazing. Now, another way to make $100,000 is charge 10 people $10,000. For a lot of people, I would say 10% or so of the people watching this, that's attainable. That is you having pretty just solid offer that is valuable to a certain group of people, very niche down, very specific description of that person or that group of people. Dentists who want to use this very specific type of machine and don't know how to do it, my team will come in or I'll come in and teach them how to do it. Um, I sat next to, I paid for like the best ticket tier of a YouTube event a couple years ago because I like to be in the room and I like to have proximity. I'm sitting next to an optometrist, which I hope he's watching, sitting next to an optometrist, and the optometrist has these beautiful YouTube videos, really well done, well produced, but he's not getting a lot of views. And I think he's really smart in the way he's doing it. And all he wants to do is get people to come to his location. He's not trying to make crazy money from other things because he can make like $1 million a year from his one location. So it's like hyper focused, it's hyper this. I said to him in like 10 minutes a solution to help him with his YouTube channel. And I was thinking to myself, if all I did if all I did was go on a tour of all the optometrists who have one or two locations in their little town or their big town across the US, and I walked in or I got in touch with them or I had a dinner or a meetup and I just taught them how to make their YouTube channel work for them by the things I understand that I'm teaching entrepreneurs and teaching you, but I just taught them specifically, that's $1 million a year. And I'm talking about 100,000. If you're trying to do 100,000, I know for a fact, I know this in my heart, that that man would have paid me $10,000 to replenish and like rejuvenate his YouTube channel. And then he probably would have called 3 of his friends who are optometrists and said, you got to come to this thing we're doing. So for some people, it is very attainable to get 10 people to pay you $10,000 over a 12-year period. And the key to all of this is that this 100K, for the purposes of this video, is extra. Like your goal is to have that extra above your living expenses so that you can sock away this FU account, right? So depending on your audience size, the strength of your offer, your willingness to do more and more and more, to be out there. I can't tell you how many people come to me, and it's no shade, but it's just truth. They come to me and they're like, I'm not making any money, or I have this going on. And I'm like, okay, well, how many DMs did you send last week on Instagram? How many posts did you make? How many videos did you record for YouTube? How many shorts did you make on Opus Clips and put on YouTube Shorts and Instagram and wherever? How many videos did you watch to learn? How many people did you talk to who could be your customer and just ask them questions about your offer without any strings attached? And so many people are like, none, zero is the answer, or a couple. And they're like, but I'm not rich. I'm not rich. I don't have FU money. Really? How much are you willing to do? I mean, I can't tell you the amount of stuff I've done. This morning, it's 8 a.m. I can't tell you from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. the amount of stuff I've done before I hit record. Now I'm putting out a 30, 40-minute video right now, 35-minute video that is going to help a ton of people in a really valuable way. But that's like a third of what I've done today. Not to say that you have to wake up earlier, you have to be a certain way or be like me. I'm just saying, can you do more of what you're doing? Can you do more? Can you sprint for 2 weeks and just do more and do better? We need to take back control. I put this thumbnail up and I put this title up and I put this video together because I needed to get your attention, because we need to do better. We need more, better for ourselves. We need to have the ability to hide out, to be a hermit, to say no to people, to be able to walk away from any person or experience that is not serving us. We need to be able to say, no, F you. I'm not doing that. Or F that. I'm not doing that. I do that all the time. All the time. But I know what it's like when you can't. And the way that you turn that into a can is that you have more money than your expenses. Simple as that. Now, yes, you can save it. That's part of the whole process. But I'm not talking about, hey, can you save $1,000 a year over 100 years and maybe get there? I'm saying in the next 12 months, can you build a war chest? Let me know if this is making you think about that a little bit differently and about like the urgency of you bringing in more money than you need faster. All right. I'll talk to you soon.